From its mysterious opening to its action-packed conclusion, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is a revolutionary entry in Nintendo's beloved series. It's a masterful blend of old and new, a return to form that also boldly ventures into uncharted territory, exceeding expectations on both fronts. The game reimagines designs and mechanics owned in other titles, adapting them to create something entirely fresh yet unmistakably Zelda. It's a magical work of art that showcases Nintendo's singular creativity, making it a must-play for everyone, regardless of their familiarity with the series. More than a typical Hyrule fantasy, Breath of the Wild is a challenging survival experience that pushes you to think differently. Caution, creativity, and resourcefulness are essential as you navigate its untamed wilderness. Armor aside, every resource must be scavenged from the world around you. Weapons are earned by defeating enemies, and meals or elixirs are crafted from gathered ingredients. Death is swift and unforgiving, whether from powerful foes or reckless choices, forcing you to unlearn the comforts of previous Zelda games and embrace the unknown. The game's vast world teems with surprises, ensuring the thrill of discovery never wanes. Where many games peak early, Breath of the Wild sustains its sense of wonder and excitement throughout, offering endless opportunities to explore, learn, and grow. It's an unforgettable journey, and a true testament to the enduring magic of The Legend of Zelda. Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered captures the essence of what makes Spider-Man an enduring icon: the contrast between Peter Parker's awkward humanity and Spider-Man's heroic confidence, as well as the duality of relatable villains whose humanity clashes with their malevolent actions. Insomniac Games' approach masterfully balances these themes in both narrative and gameplay. Intense, high-stakes boss battles are juxtaposed with relaxed open-world exploration, showcasing Spider-Man's agility and charm. Meanwhile, linear segments featuring less powered allies add a grounded perspective to the story. This duality, rather than being a flaw, enriches the experience, painting a full picture of Spider-Man's world. Menial tasks, though often repetitive, become part of the immersion, reinforcing the fantasy of being the friendly neighborhood hero. What truly shines, however, is the story, which thrives on Marvel's cinematic storytelling formula. Insomniac's interpretation emphasizes the human element, with understated, heartfelt performances. Peter Parker is portrayed as a seasoned yet endearingly nerdy Spider-Man, and his relationships with key characters are deeply explored. This focus on the supporting cast strengthens the narrative's emotional stakes, making later twists and turns all the more impactful. Ultimately, Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered is an engrossing experience that captures the heart of the Marvel Universe, making it a must-play for fans of the web-slinger. Elden Ring is, without a doubt, the best game I've ever played. It masterfully combines countless elements into a magical, breathtaking open world. You lose yourself in its vastness, navigating through tough enemies, cryptic dialogue, and unforgettable boss fights, all accompanied by stunningly beautiful music. This game has it all, and everything it does perfectly. It's a truly magical and haunting journey, one that's hard to fully put into words. The open world of Elden Ring is immense, but unlike many modern games, its size feels purposeful. Every inch of the map is dense and intricately handcrafted. The world is stunning, from lush forests and volcanic mountains to blood-soaked swamps, intricate dungeons, and ancient catacombs. It remains consistently breathtaking. The designers excelled at creating moments of awe, whether it's stumbling upon a windswept forest after cresting a hill or rounding a narrow mountain path to find a dazzling city perched on a slope. All of this is enhanced by a convincing dynamic day-night cycle, which breathes life into the world. Quests in Elden Ring take a refreshingly unconventional approach. There are no checklists or clear instructions, just faint hints and subtle direction. Along your journey, you'll meet characters who might ask for help or share cryptic clues. Their paths may intersect with yours in unexpected ways, depending on your previous actions. Cyberpunk 2077 stands out with its excellent side quests and well-developed main characters, but its world often feels superficial. Early in the game, a series of side quests involving rogue AI-controlled taxis exemplifies the game's best qualities. One taxi contemplates suicide on a bridge, requiring you to talk it down. Another must be forcefully subdued. and a third cleverly references a famous video game AI, manipulating you as you pursue it. This questline is both intriguing and surprisingly human, offering a meaningful sub-story and a hefty cash reward. It also serves as a clever way to introduce players to the diverse corners of Night City. Much of my playtime was spent chasing side quest threads like this, drawn in by their unique premises and often rewarded with engaging, memorable experiences. However, after completing the main story, many of these activities felt disconnected from the overarching narrative and my character's journey. Even the main story itself struggles with cohesion, despite its strong foundation. The main narrative is anchored by wonderfully written and performed characters, offering layers of depth, momentum, and genuine emotional impact. It features immersive decision-making and adrenaline-pumping action. A lack of polish in finer details, occasional immaturity in its themes, and recurring technical bugs create a sense of inconsistency. GTA 5. Where do you even begin when talking about Grand Theft Auto 5? Do you start with its sprawling, diverse, and stunningly beautiful open world? Or do you focus on its innovative structure, allowing players to switch seamlessly between three distinct protagonists? Perhaps you highlight the vast array of side activities and the countless ways to create your own chaotic fun. Or maybe you delve into the game's narrative flaws and its troubling portrayal of women. GTA 5 is a complex and captivating game, filled with moments of brilliance, but marred by occasional missteps. Its narrative includes an unnecessary undercurrent of misogyny that detracts from the experience, yet it also achieves groundbreaking feats in open-world gaming. The use of multiple perspectives brings players into the heart of cinematic heists and multi-layered missions in ways no other game has before. These perspectives come from the game's three protagonists: Michael, Franklin, and Trevor. Michael is a retired criminal, discontent with his privileged but stagnant life. His marriage is falling apart, and he struggles to connect with his children. Franklin, on the other hand, is a skilled driver and repo man seeking a way out of his limited prospects. A chance encounter with Michael sets him on a new path. And then there's Trevor, a former friend and business associate of Michael's, now a methamphetamine entrepreneur residing in a desert town north of Los Santos. Horizon Zero Dawn invites players into a sprawling open world brimming with mystery. Futuristic technology from a distant past lies buried beneath the surface, while beast-like machines roam a land where civilizations thrive as hunters and gatherers. As you unravel the intricate past of Aloy, the game's protagonist, you uncover the calamitous truth that shaped the world into what it has become. Though only 7 years old, Horizon Zero Dawn recently received a surprising remastered edition. This upgrade goes beyond graphical enhancements, breathing new life into Aloy's world with noticeable improvements that make it feel even more vibrant and immersive. A trio of dedicated players compared an early copy of the remaster with the original version, showcasing the remarkable upgrades that elevate the game's already stunning visuals and atmosphere. Meanwhile, Horizon Forbidden West takes the foundation of its predecessor and expands it into a vast and ambitious sequel. The game's size and scope can feel overwhelming as you uncover its map, collect an arsenal of weapons and armor, and explore its expansive skill tree filled with special moves, skills, and passive buffs. Yet, despite its grandeur, Forbidden West remains grounded by focusing on its characters and their stories. This approach breaks the enormity into manageable chunks, giving your journey personal stakes that make the adventure all the more compelling. A clean shot to the head drones the villain known as Arkham Knight. That's all it will take. At every turn, the Knight threatens horrific acts, doing everything in his power to instill fear in Batman's heart throughout the open-world adventure that bears his name. Scarecrow, too, preys on Batman's doubts, attempting to convince the Dark Knight of his own helplessness. All eyes, all hopes upon a man who fails his friends, Scarecrow declares over Gotham's public networks, reminding Bruce Wayne of the burden he bears for the suffering of those closest to him. Batman is a hero defined by his inner struggles, and the Arkham series has never shied away from delving into his darker side. Batman Arkham Knight continues this tradition, following the Caped Crusader through a series of confrontations that force him to question his role in Gotham's current crisis. The game revisits familiar themes of guilt and fear. But its villains hammer these points home so often and so bluntly that they risk becoming tiresome. Heavy-handed metaphors abound, leaving little room for subtlety. Fortunately, Arkham Knight redeems itself with the hallmarks of Rocksteady's Arkham games: stunning production values, visceral and satisfying combat, and an exhilarating sense of freedom as you glide above Gotham's shadowy streets. Despite its narrative shortcomings, the game delivers a polished and thrilling experience, cementing Batman's place as one of gaming's most iconic heroes. In The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, the sacred clashes relentlessly with the profane, and beauty is forever entangled with blood. The series has always juxtaposed the physical allure of its world with its inherent violence, but never has that contrast been so raw, so unsettling. While it's no surprise that The Witcher 3 depicts the visceral brutality of battle, many games revel in gore and carnage. It's the way this extraordinary adventure weaves personal tragedies and moral complexities into its narrative that elevates it to greatness. It's not just the thematic depth that makes The Witcher 3 extraordinary. Excellence permeates every aspect of this open-world RPG, from its captivating exploration and imaginative creature designs to its fluid combat mechanics and rewarding character progression. Every element is meticulously crafted, creating a world as immersive as it is expansive. Yet, the moments that leave the deepest impression are those that expose the profound sorrow of its characters. In one quest, you reunite two lovers, only to find that one has become a grotesque, decaying hag with a lascivious, lolling tongue. In another, a brutish spouse abuser must confront his capacity for love as he navigates relationships with two vastly different lost souls, each testing the boundaries of his affection. These brief examples barely scratch the surface of the emotional depth within The Witcher 3. Across the windswept Isles of Skellige and the bustling streets of Novigrad, joy is always shadowed by sorrow, and every victory comes at a cost. Here, triumph is never without sacrifice. Red Dead Redemption 2 remains a masterpiece, offering a gripping experience with gameplay systems that deeply connect you to its world and the characters who inhabit it. It's a game about consequences, where the illusion of choice plays a central role. While some decisions are left to you, shaping your character and influencing the world around you, the most significant and often disastrous choices were made long before the game begins. As a prequel to Red Dead Redemption, the story's ultimate outcome is already known to many players, leaving the focus on the journey, the choices you make along the way, and the weight of living with their repercussions. The game excels in portraying the tension between freedom and inevitability. You navigate a world filled with moral dilemmas, repetitive yet purposeful missions, and the constant challenge of doing what's right in a world that often punishes virtue. This tension can be frustrating, but it's also what makes the story so impactful. When all the threads come together, the effort feels worthwhile, and the journey becomes unforgettable. At the start of Red Dead Redemption 2, the Van der Linde gang is already on the decline, a downfall that players of the first game know is inevitable. After a botched heist in Blackwater, the gang is on the run, struggling with dwindling resources, internal fractures, and the relentless pursuit of the law. Among the familiar faces is John Marston, the protagonist of Red Dead Redemption, joined by a host of new characters. You play as Arthur Morgan, a senior member of the gang and Dutch van der Linde's trusted right. Black Myth Kong surprised me in ways I didn't expect. While its aesthetic and gameplay elements might suggest a Souls-like experience, the Chinese developer Game Science has been clear in distancing the game from that genre, defining it more broadly as an action RPG. This distinction holds true, as Black Myth Wukong is far from a traditional Souls-like. Instead, it feels more like an extended boss rush, with elaborate and challenging battles serving as the game's centerpiece. The journey between these encounters, however, can sometimes lack the same energy, occasionally slipping into moments of aimless wandering. Despite these lulls, the game's satisfying combat and the unique variety of its boss fights largely compensate for its shortcomings. The story of Black Myth Wukong draws heavily from the classic Chinese novel Journey to the West, First published in the 16th century during the Ming Dynasty, this epic tale has had a lasting influence on literature, art, and entertainment, inspiring works like Ninja Theory's Enslaved, Odyssey to the West, and Akira Toriyama's Dragon Ball. Black myth Wukong offers a fresh take on the legendary story, set sometime after the events of the original narrative while retaining many of its iconic characters. Familiar names like Zhu Baji, Kang Jinlong, and the Bull Demon King make appearances, though their roles and allegiances may deviate from the source material, adding intrigue and novelty to the experience. Ultimately, Black myth Wukong thrives in its ability to deliver thrilling and memorable boss encounters, making it a standout action RPG. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, give us a like, tell us your favorite game in the comments, and check the description below for great offer links.